Okay, we're going to get started here. Can you hear me, Kaden? Awesome. How are you doing today? It's finals week. Hopefully everybody's doing good at this point. We got Halloween over. Now we're going into our final week here. You said Lisa's going to be in here pretty soon. Good. Yeah, that would be nice. Want to get all the work done by Friday. Yeah, you guys can definitely end early if you want. That would be nice to get it done and out of the way, right? Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, happy upcoming birthday. That would be nice if you could get that done early. Even earlier, that would be nice. Yeah. All right. Well, welcome to week 4. We're going to get started here. It is finals. You guys are coming down to the end of this week as your last week of the class. So pretty exciting stuff here. We have somewhat of a lot to go over in the next 2 last live lectures. I don't think it's anything overwhelming, but we're going to wrap things up and kind of get some things going in regards to presentation. We're going to start, excuse me, tonight in your assignment 4, you're going to be creating your cover design and also completing your table of contents. So hopefully you made space for that somewhere on page 2 as advised when you were creating your letter to the editor page 2. Yep. If you didn't, and I know some of you who didn't leave this space open, you might have a little bit of more work ahead of you to shift everything around. So we'll go over that tonight. And as I promised, I was going to show you a picture of my little girl because we just finished up Halloween here right after we last were in the lecture. So I wanted to share this picture here. My little girl's on the way right. She's the lion. The other 2 little kids are friends of her. Actually, what's kind of funny about this picture is I grew up in a neighborhood when I was little, and I pretty much lived in the house for all my life in Pittsburgh here. And I lived across the street was a little girl that I grew up with. And we grew up together. We went to school together pretty much all our lives up to college. We didn't go to college together, but we reconnected once I moved back, and she ended up having kids. So these are her kids on the left. So the bumblebee and the little dragonfly are her kids. And then there's my little girl in the lion costume. So it's kind of neat to say, yeah, we used to trick or treat together, me and Katie, but now our kids are trick or treating together. So it's kind of a neat story there. Oh, you slept through Halloween? You were sick? Aw. Yeah, I think it's going around for sure. I think I kind of started feeling a little down and out recently, so I think I'm getting dragged down by the cold too. Sorry to hear that. Oh no, that's the worst. Yeah, 'tis the season. Yep, so that's her. She was a lion for the 3rd time in a row. So hopefully maybe next year, I don't know. She said she wants to be a lion again, and I'm fine with that as long as she's happy. But we definitely had a successful trip. It was lots of candy to be had, and it rained towards the end of our 2nd trip out, but we definitely had a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys did too. Yeah, there you go. I don't even know if I think she knows what The Lion King is, but I don't think we ever watched the movies. She's always into those Pixar movies. So whenever, I show her the older Disney movies, she's like, She likes the newer style movies. She's like a little spoiled there. Lion King 2? Okay. I don't think I've ever seen Lion King 2. Well, I'm sorry to hear you were sick. Hopefully you're getting better. Like I said, everybody seems to be coming down with something this time of year. Okay, Simba's Pride. I'll have to check it out. All right, something to look up. Not maybe Netflix has it or something. All right. Yeah, definitely check it out for sure. And what else is there to do when you're stuck inside all wintertime? So it's always good to have a list of movies. All right, as we go into week 4, just a few little things to think about and be mindful of. I know you guys pretty much have this down pat. It's pretty repetitive every time you go through the mod, but just make sure you guys are kind of understanding that I cannot accept any late work past Saturday after midnight due to grades needing to be submitted. So just make sure if you have any late work that you're getting that in before this Saturday for credit, for possible credit. Assessment for your final project is obviously due Saturday before midnight Mountain Standard Time. And then you have a discussion as well. So make sure you're getting that initial post in by tonight before midnight, and then 2 responses before Saturday by midnight to fellow peers. Yep. It's tomorrow by midnight. I was thinking it was Wednesday today. I don't know why. Thank you. You have more time. And then your career integration quiz, just a reflection of what you learned in this class specifically. Make sure you're completing that out substantially in each of the questions to get an additional 15 points, which I think is awesome because it all adds up. So, obviously don't skip that. Thank you for the clarification. It's been a day, I'm telling you what. Yeah, overtyping, yeah. Sometimes people really like the reflection. Some of it is pretty redundant, but it is all part of your critical thinking skills, and the reflective part of this really is an important part of the process because, sometimes we walk away not thinking about what we did and what we could have done and what we've learned. It's just nice to kind of recap, things that you liked, maybe didn't like, things that you have to improve upon, and just reflect back on that. Because if you just, end it and that's that, it's like, okay, well, you might not kind of think about maybe the things that you need to work on going forward, or you might not think about the things that you actually learned in the past 4 weeks. We go over a lot of stuff. So reflecting back on that really kind of keeps everything fresh too. Words on my head and onto paper, so to speak. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's hard. It's harder for visual designers, I think, because we're so right-brained. And that's another reason why it's so important to communicate verbally, either, writing skills, working on your writing skills. Yep. And communication skills, just how you present to a client, is super important. Even if it's like you're not presenting to a client per se, if you work in-house, but you're going to be presenting to somebody in the actual company that you work for, whether it be an associate that you're presenting to or speaking to. So you want to make sure that your communication skills are up to par as well. And that just kind of all helps. It kind of helps make you a more well-rounded designer and student. So I understand. So how is it going? Is there anything that you're struggling with that you want to talk about, or issues, concerns, things that you want to just vent, get out there? I know I think I received a couple emails today from students that were struggling, and like I said, I kind of just got into the office, so I will be answering those emails probably either later tonight or tomorrow, because we are ending a little late tonight for Eastern Standard Time, but I will get back to you and hopefully guide you guys where you need to be. I have a little tickle in my throat tonight. Like I said, I woke up a couple days ago with something going on, so if I need to mute the mic to cough, you guys don't hear me, I need to do that. So, or drink some water. Okay. Okay, per my email Saturday. Okay, good. Yes. Okay. You know what? I don't think I have any honey. I do have tea. I'll have to look and see what I have. But thank you. I've heard of that too. I just never, it's almost like one of those things you think about getting and then you don't. All right. Yes, I've heard that, honey and lemon tea and tea. Sounds delicious. I have oolong tea I've been drinking. I love that. It's so good. And if you ever get a chance to get some, just a little side note, if you're looking to maybe lose some weight, oolong tea is great for burning fat in the arms and the belly specifically. So, oh, okay. Thanks, Kaden. Yeah, that's fine. She can watch the recording. But thank you for the update. Plus, that oolong tea has a lot of what they say is cancer-fighting ingredients. So it's kind of interesting. Nice. You work at, what gym do you work at? Planet Fitness. Yeah, those are very popular. I just joined an Anytime Fitness. We were kind of debating whether to go Planet Fitness or Anytime, but Anytime was a little closer, so we kind of decided on that. Very cool. And when I lived in Tampa, I belonged to an Anytime Fitness too, so I kind of was used to that. But I have gone to Planet Fitness before as a guest. Very nice place for sure. Big places too. Well, that's nice. That's a nice little, you have no excuse now. You work there. You have to work out. No excuses, right? Right? Aw. All right, so we'll just go over some announcements today, and then your discussion 4 as well, and then we'll look at your assignment 4, and then we'll kind of go from there. We'll show you the demo. Oh, college, work, parents, sisters, kids, moving. Isn't life wonderful? You know, you think sometimes as instructors, I think sometimes students think we have it all together too, which, you know, obviously we like to portray that. But sometimes it's just life, and I understand. So, is that Lisa coming in here? Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Great to have you here. Getting married, yep. People have all kinds of stuff going on, so no problem. We weren't sure if you were going to show up. If you know, obviously, if you can't stay, you can listen to the recording. It's no big deal, but great to have you here. All right. Yay, you're not sick anymore. We were just talking about that. Yeah, she said that, Kaden said that, yeah, that we were talking about Halloween and stuff and the sickness going around. And I was starting to feel a little sick too, so just my throat, yeah. I think it's just like the temperature going from 30 degrees to like 60 in one day is probably not helpful here in Pittsburgh. There you go. That's even more dramatic there. 31 to 85. Jeez. Yeah, that's just not good for the body, I don't think. But whatever. We kind of have to get through it, right? Try to stay strong. All right. So, well, welcome, Lisa. We just got started here. And if you have any questions or concerns and you're able to, I guess if you have any questions, let me know. I kind of open it up to any comments or concerns that you have. You came in here a little late, so if you do, let me know. You're welcome. Learning objectives. Okay, I'm just trying to get caught up. Okay. Learning objectives for week 4, you're gonna pretty much what you're gonna walk away from. You're going to be, again, applying a well-defined grid structure to enhance visual hierarchy. We're gonna be doing that not only with the table of contents, but also your cover for this week. Utilize complex character and paragraph style sheets to create consistent formatting on a multi-page layout. You guys have been doing that, so we're going to continue that. Identify the similarities and differences between print and web layout strategies. So we're going to be discussing that, and then we're also going to be applying that. And then we're going to be creating an interactive PDF by properly structuring a multi-page layout in InDesign. So you guys will be converting your PDF, printed PDF, as to a web e-publish magazine, and you'll be making it interactive for the final project. And we'll be going over that tomorrow. So go ahead and, read through the rest of this, watch the video, and then when you get to your, let me go back to home here. I probably shouldn't have gone that way. Sorry, guys. I'm not really following the way I should be going here. I'm going to click on discussion, and this can be a little confusing. I know some people were a little confused by this. Go ahead and read through the background. It's just going to kind of talk about how, as a designer, you will be challenged with not only designing for print, but also for web, since we have both media, references. So this is just kind of some things to think about in regards to that. And then the prompt here, I'll read through this. It's kind of long, but bear with me here. But the prompted question is in here, so we'll discuss this a little bit closer in detail. So there are two main ways a designer will create a project: in digital and print form. As a professional designer, it is your job to communicate effectively when designing for both print and digital mediums, and learn that they are separate and not equal. So it really is two different things. For this discussion, you will research to identify the similarities and differences between print and web layout strategies, and what that sets them apart in the design process. The process has some very distinct differences when going from print to web that extends beyond basic design fundamentals. So, think about that. What are some of the differences? Think about how we view things when they're actually printed pieces and we're handling those pieces. How are we viewing them? How does it come across? How do we see them? Versus something that's more web, on the web, Yep, like being TIFFs versus JPEG. Yep, we could talk about the file formats, color modes, stuff like that. So we live in a digital world, and making the switch from traditional print to digital publishing format is a big step. The art director, okay, so this is where the prompt comes in right here. The art director for Acme Media Group has requested you to convert a magazine to an electronic format, so a printed magazine to an electronic format that will be distributed online. Preparing a printed magazine for the digital world is where the confusion often sets in. The good news is several methods can be used to complete the task. Every designer has their own design process and preferred methods for converting print layout to digital publishing formats such as EPUB or interactive PDF. So what you're going to do is research and find two methods to accomplish this task. So how are you going to do this? What are two methods that you can convert the printed magazine to a web version of digital publishing format? Excuse me. Consider the functionality of your digital format. Excuse me. Elements like links, buttons, mouse over effects, navigation, and other interactive features required to work correctly to create an engaging user experience. As the designer, how can you transform a print magazine into a digital one using these interactive features to bring your publications to life and take your audience beyond the basic reading experience? So you're kind of thinking about the experience from print to when you're actually looking at it on screen. Talk about those details. What's the differences between the two? Talk about visually, what are the differences? Talk about how you're handling the paper versus clicking on buttons, that type of a thing. So for your citation, you might use articles that explain major design differences between print and web design. So maybe talk about that first. You could also find articles from experts that offer best design practices and strategies for each format. You might just do like a Google search for e-publications versus print publications, or digital publishing versus print publishing. Your initial and reply post should work to develop a group understanding, so you guys should kind of challenge each other, see a different perspective, and be respectful. So yes, so you can talk about the technical aspects of this. So Lisa said about the file formats, what's maybe the similarities, what's the differences. Talk about maybe color modes, you know, because it is a different color mode, pixel, you know, verse, whatever. Talk about that. And then also talk about just the functionality of the printed piece versus the functionality of a digital publishing piece. How is the user, what's the differences? How's the user going about looking at it in those two different scenarios? So almost like see the two users, one using the looking at the printed magazine versus one on the online looking at a digital publication. See that in your mind as if you're kind of just absorbing the two, and just discuss what you see and then talk about the specifics. Does that make sense? And a lot of that you'll find, you know, researching the differences as well. Okay. You can even show examples of that too. Like you can find maybe a magazine that's out there for print, you know, find a cover and maybe an inside page of one that's printed, but it's a photograph of it. And then go on their website and look at their digital magazine on there and make some screenshots of what that looks like in that variation. So it's the same magazine, just shown in two different ways. Yeah. I mean, certain publications you can find, you just have to do a little digging. So I have a card in a picture frame, and the same picture is online. A card of what? Kind of like that. Yes, like, so, you know, you can even take a picture of a magazine you have at home, and that's the printed magazine. Yeah. So you're going to show the cover of the printed magazine versus the cover on, you know, if you could find it on their website, maybe they have a digital version of it. Actually, let's go see if we can find, just real quick, just looking it up. First print magazine. Examples. Let's see if we can find some examples here. And this is just, I'm just seeing if there's anything that I can find here. Actually, this one is pretty good. So they're showing the printed version and then one on the iPad. I'm probably sure you can find something a little bit as a comparison here. And that, like I said, you don't have to type in those keywords. You can just, if it's a like, let's see, what's a popular magazine, like CoverGirl magazine cover, or Time, there you go. Like a print magazine cover. Okay, so let's say there's Vogue, Cosmopolitan, here's CoverGirl. Let's say, okay, Vogue. Let's look up Vogue. So the picture, actually the picture that I clicked on looked more print. Click on this one, see if I can get this a little bit more clear. There we go. There's Cosmopolitan as an example. This looks a little bit more digital. If you could find one that looks more print, and then go to their actual website, you can save that picture and then go to Cosmopolitan magazine, to the actual website. And maybe they don't have a digital magazine conversion and it's just the website. That's something you can take a picture of too. Let me see if they actually have something at the bottom here. Oh, it just looks like it keeps going on and on and on. Let me see if I can try another drop down menu here. Magazine. Yeah, it looks like it's just regular stuff here. So what I would do is maybe just take a picture or a screenshot of the splash page. Some of them may have like a little area where it says, you know, November's magazine, and you can click on it and it's digital version of it. That's kind of what I was looking for here, but it looks like they don't really have that. Even at the very bottom I'm trying to get to, but it looks like just keeps going on and on. So if you can find that, that's awesome, because then you can compare it visually, you know, showing everybody that. But it might take some digging around. Any questions about that? Sorry guys, I'm a little tickle in my throat here. Okay, so you had a question here. Let me get back to my chat area. You search certain month magazines. Yep. Yep. If you can find a picture showing the printed versus the publication one, or the digital publication one, and it's the same month and the same image, that's kind of what we're looking for, so you can compare the two. Yeah. And there are some that have that, so just kind of keep a lookout. I should have probably dug that up earlier, but it's going to take me a while to kind of do a search. So, all right. And it's good to look at the differences, because you want to make sure that you're understanding the differences between the two, because you're looking at it in two different ways. You're accessing it in two different ways. So what may be important in print in terms of accessibility to the actual print, how you're turning the flipping the pages, how you're feeling the paper, is different when you're actually interacting with it digitally. You're going about it totally different. So navigation is super important in both regards, but maybe more so when you're trying to click to the next page. You want to look for buttons that are accessible, things like that. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I actually have, all right, good, Lisa. I actually have a few of you guys that did post recently some late work that I will be definitely going over by tomorrow. It's been kind of a crazy day today, so I will be getting to it either by tomorrow or the next day. I've been like so busy. Yes, so hopefully I'll get to that as soon as possible. All right, so week 4, we're going to be tying up loose ends. You guys definitely read through this background information. It's going to tell you a little bit about things to think about when you're designing the cover and the table of contents, which is what we're going to be doing for this this week. I'm going to go right to the prompt. You have worked hard to develop your magazine design format to establish the look and personality that connects with your target audience. You guys have been. It's a lot of work. As part of your design strategy, you have applied a well-defined grid structure to enhance visual hierarchy, as well as utilizing complex character and paragraph style sheets to create consistent, yeah, that's right, consistent formatting on a multi-page layout. Your job, however, is not finished yet, and some work remains to be done. Seems like that's always the case. The final preparation for your magazine publication. In addition to the magazine cover design and table of contents, final client revisions for the editorial, feature article, and magazine advertisement are required. The purpose of this stage of the design process is to complete any needed changes and receive the final approval from the client. In this stage, the designer will analyze the feedback provided by other members of the creative team, as well as self-critique, to complete changes and revisions, tweaking your design to perfection before it is presented to the client. And a lot of the times, if you have a printer, and I know some of you guys don't, and that's fine, but I say print it out. Print it out. And if you're, a designer working at a firm or an agency or an in-house place, sometimes that's a good way to test out a lot of different design work, especially publication design. I know I had to print it out many times, and you kind of just look at it, flip through the pages, mark pages. Sometimes we just do it digitally, but it's always a good way to do it so that especially when you're zoomed in the things and you're designing something that might be out of scale, make sure that you're reading it right. Everything looks properly ratioed in the terms of how it's going to be accessed. Okay, yeah. So if you have the ability to do that, even if you're working and it's on somebody else's, dime, I would definitely say that that's a great way to do it. We do that often, and when you work in agencies, you will do mock-ups, is what they're called. And it's great to do a mock-up for anything that you're working on, just so that you get the second chance to look at everything before it goes to print or before it launches. You test it out almost, if you want to say that too. And it's kind of surprising how many things you kind of see that maybe you didn't see before and when you do that. Okay. Yeah. So just a kind of a little tip there, if you can, that, you know, it's something that you might want to do. Just to kind of look at it in a different way. Assignment instructions. So you're going to review and analyze feedback from editorial week 1 assignment, feature article week 2 assignment, and back cover assignment, week 3 assignment. So kind of review, analyze any feedback that you received. All suggested changes for each section must be made to obtain final approval. Now, I saw some of you guys that went on to the next week and posted your work and didn't make the suggested changes. So make sure you're doing that. I did see many of you who did not apply any of the suggested changes that I had given. So, okay, I didn't give any for week 2. Did you? What do you mean by that? Did you just submit it? Is that why? Okay. I graded your work, right, Lisa? Did I evaluate your work? Okay. Make sure that you're, you know, did you download the PDF to your computer? You didn't just click on it in the gradebook, right? Okay. Well, let me know, because when I give you feedback on your PDF, and I put it in the instructions to download it to your computer so that you open it up in Acrobat so that you can see my comments. If you just click on it in the gradebook, it might not show my comments. Yes. I should have sent, yeah, I should have, did you get the PDF attachment, Lisa? One, but not week 2. Okay, so you didn't receive a PDF, or you did receive a PDF and it didn't have comments on it that you saw? Okay, but the PDF was there. I'm just writing a note here. Okay, I'll take a look at it, Lisa, and after the lecture, and I'll see what I have in there. It could be, you know, a mix-up. So, you know, sometimes that happens, but I'll check it out. Yeah, and if that ever happens, just email me or contact me right away so that I can take a look and get that to you as soon as possible. So you're not just sitting there like, Yeah, and we could definitely talk after class if you want to, for sure. Okay, so basically you're going to make all those changes to your final magazine, implement all those changes, spell check, proofread the magazine as if you haven't seen it before. Magazine cover is what we're going to focus on tonight. You sent back my, yeah, the next day or so I realized it wasn't completed and sent. Okay. Okay. You did get that though, right, Kane? The correct one. Okay. Yeah, there was a little, sometimes it gets kind of a little weird there. My apologies. Okay, so your magazine cover in the 8-page document you set up in week 1, you will be using page 1 for your cover design. Cover cannot have any page numbers, so no folio at the bottom. Apply a well-defined grid structure to enhance visual hierarchy. Apply the principles of design: contrast, repetition, alignment, proximity. What's required to have on the cover is the magazine logo, the date, month, and year, photograph promoting the main feature article. That's important, so it has to connect to that. Name of the feature article. Cover lines: minimum of 2 additional articles must appear on cover. The magazine price, $4.99, and the UPC barcode. All right. Table of contents is also the second thing we're going to work on, and that is on page 2. So in the 8-page document you set up in week 1, you'll be using page 2 inside front cover for your table of contents. You can use all articles listed in table of contents document that's provided. I'll show you where that's at. Apply the principles of design. Only use client-approved images. Week 1, additional images are not approved if you use them. Create new paragraph and character styles and apply them to the following: article title, article description, and then author byline. All right. Submission requirements: package your InDesign file, include Adobe PDF print in single page format. Save your package folder as a zip file. You can name it as such. Upload the final magazine to your Behance portfolio site and submit the URL in the comments. Send an email to your FPA and CC your instructor with the URL link to your project on your Behance portfolio site. I'm sure you guys probably have done that before, so hopefully you're in the rhythm of knowing how to do that. If not, obviously we're going to go through the steps anyway. Any questions about that right now? What kind of covered so far? Like I said, I'm going to be doing a demo on how to apply, how I would apply it, and maybe that'll answer some of your other questions as well. Any questions though before we get started? And we're going to kind of do this first, so we're going to cover this. Okay. So this is what we're going to cover, pretty much this first part of the demo, and then what we'll do is we'll take a break, and then we'll do the table of contents. All right. And there's also samples down here that you can definitely check out. Let me open those up here that are where the students kind of worked on. That should be the benchmark of where you guys should be. There might be comments in there from previous instructors, but you can at least see what has been done as examples in the past here. Let me share this one here. So they have the masthead is what they usually call this, the logo, the masthead of the magazine. They have the image that connects to the feature story in the background. They have the larger headline type set for the feature story. And then secondary articles down here are kind of the other articles listed in there. UPC here, this can actually be a little smaller. And you can read, the little tips in here, the feedback, to kind of get an understanding of how this could be pushed forward. But you can see it's a single page document here, a PDF, just like you guys will be submitting it. And then the second example is another remodeler magazine. Okay, and you don't have to use just one big photo. In this regards, they use 3 different photos. It looks, the copy's a little hard to read here. I definitely would say maybe keep the copy larger, so that you can see this. Maybe the copy that should be larger can go underneath this, as secondary bullet points, that it's larger instead of being in these separate little squares. So there's definitely some room for improvement, but just another way of looking at this. I know, exactly. So some of these are definitely need a little bit more push there, but just to show you where yours should be and just give you an idea of how to, what to look for. Okay, so let's go to week 1. There's a little hyperlink here you can click on, and it takes you right to your assignment 1. And this is where you'll find, if you didn't get a chance to download all of your assets, you can, definitely check this out again. In here, like I did Fit Me for my demo, so I'm going to just download this again. I can, I might not have to because it's already in my classroom folder, but if you need to go back because you maybe accidentally deleted something, this is where you'll find what you need for this week as well. So for instance, the articles in here, what we're going to need for this particular demo is the list of articles and table of contents, TOC. So I'm going to open those up. And then in your, also in that folder, you'll find the name of the magazine with the word flag, which is another word for masthead too. And that's the logo, the masthead that needs to be used. Now you're going to have Illustrator example for that you will definitely want to, you can place as an Illustrator file, but I would suggest doing it in a different way, and we'll take a look at that. And then feature images, again, if you need to, access your feature images for the cover, these are the ones that were provided. Okay, so I'm going to just throw this on my desktop so I have access to it. And I'm going to go right back to my page here. What's that noise? I missed that. Did I make a noise? I missed something, I think. Oh, okay. I'm like, what? What's going on here? What are you talking about? That's funny. Okay. Wrong. All right, so here's where I'm kind of gonna be, if you didn't do a spell check yet, definitely do a spell check. If your columns aren't all linked up, because by page 2 and 7 are different columns, yeah, you can do it at this point. I guess good advice, and I should have said this in the beginning and I forgot, in your Word files, you should be doing the spell checks in the Word files first before you even placing it here, but I failed to bring that up, so I apologize. But you still can do spell check here. You just need to kind of click select all and do it in each section, which I guess is a little bit more work. It's definitely a lot more work. And then what you're going to do, where is it here? Spell check here. I know it's in here somewhere, right? Oh, geez. There we go. It's in your preferences. I don't know. Check spelling, grammar. I don't think it's in your preferences here. I know you guys can't see my top menu here. So if you go up to InDesign preferences and you check spelling, this is where you can actually, no, that's your preferences. Sorry, guys. Let me share my desktop so you can see my full screen here. Here we go. Let me go back to InDesign. It is in here somewhere. And I'm failing to think about where it's here. Oh, under edit and spelling. I always think it's under type for some reason. And you go to spelling, check spelling. It's always different in different programs. And then what you're going to do is just, look at the words that are being looked at, highlighted. They're going to show it to you. If this is okay, because obviously that's okay, it's just saying, then just do skip. Sometimes they'll give you suggestions on grammar. Walking, you can always skip each body, skip. So do each section. You guys, somebody's typing here and I missed it, hold on. Yeah, it's under edit, spelling. I know it's different in Illustrator, I believe. That's why I kind of get a little confused because I go from one program to the next. But yeah, go to each section and do the spell check, and just read over a lot of your headlines too. If it's not included, if they have separate boxes, just to make sure. All right. Another thing that I didn't quite go over either was just signifiers, maybe on page 2 that I kind of added just a little note down here, continued on page 7, just a little signifier that, hey, this is not going to this page. We're going to continue on page 7 so that the viewer knows that it's not going right to the next page in smaller type. So that's something that you can always do. I wouldn't put anything on this page though. When you go back to this page, you don't have to say, you know, continued from page 2 or anything like that. I think just leave that as is. Okay, so just make any suggested changes that you need to. You know, a lot of that's a lot of work. So go ahead and do that. Place your full page ad in there like I did here. This is from previous weeks that we worked on it. Any changes that need to be done here, apply those changes. Get that all set, you know, and kind of just look at it. Make sure, the one thing that I'm looking for is that the page 2, besides all the other like details of alignment and all that good stuff, is that your letter from each section look like they belong together. So letter from the editor goes with page 7, and that the feature story looks different and kind of flows together nicely. Oh, okay. Hi, Gabriel and Kyle. Nice to have you here. You got little eyes. Everybody's trying to learn something, right? This is called the snow page right here because it's all white. This is what Pittsburgh is going to look like pretty soon. Aw, very cute. I have a daughter that's 4, so welcome, welcome. They didn't realize they had class time today, did they? Oh, very cute. Well, welcome. All right, so basically what we're going to do, we're going to save this 643 and 1. Yikes, that is a full house. We're going to save this as a, you know, assignment 4 because that's what we're working on. So make sure you do that. You have a full house for sure. All right, so we're going to save that as assignment 4. And now what we're going to do is access that folder. What I would say is maybe place in your images first. And if you need to, and I noticed a lot of you guys that still had your folios on the bottom of page 1. Make sure that you don't have a master page on that and just slide over none over top of 1 so that there's nothing being applied there. All right, then I'm going to take my rectangle frame tool, which is the little rectangle with an X in it. And that's how you know it's not only a shape, but you can place pictures in here. If it was just the rectangle without the X, that's just a shape and you can't really place pictures in there. Okay, so now I'm going to hit Command D or File Place. And I'm going to place what I believe connects the feature story, unifies it, the best image I think for that. And I'm going to choose, wait for it, right? I can either do the runner. And you know, choose the one that you think is going to represent and look the best. Let me see here. I just lost something. Give me 1 second. To view. It's gone. Okay. I'm going to pick the runner. I think that's probably the best bet because it's the larger file. It looks really nice, large, and that's kind of the bigger picture that I use anyway. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm adjusting some things for the feature story. So it kind of it's fitting that I use that for the cover. You don't necessarily have to, but I'm going to do that. Oh, they're bored of me already, right? They're like, we're done with this. That's what I would be like. That's funny. All right, so I just placed this in here. And what I would suggest is you can go all the way to the top with this and just bleed it off. Let me fit this here. Or you can pull this down and get it ready for the masthead and then fit it appropriately. So it's really kind of what you think you want, the look that you want. Whoops. Sorry, I just pulled something up by accident here. The look that you want. So let me show you the masthead first. Let me pull this back up here and do a full bleed. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another rectangle frame tool here. draw out another little, it's like a rectangle. Uh-oh. Good luck with that. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. I'm gonna do Command D, and we're gonna go back to your folder. Uh-oh, yeah, it's a go do what you need to do. You can either put the white version in here or the black and white version in here. So it's really kind of what style that you want. Let me show you what this looks like both ways. So that was white, this is black. Okay. I kind of like this variation, but if I wanted to maybe, let me show you the two different examples. I could have the full bleed like this, or I could bring this up since it's solid in the background. I can bring it up as far as the very top. I can even pull it down just a little bit so you can see a little bit of image. If I pull it all the way to the top, you know, it is kind of getting too close to the top, and you can always fit your picture down here. But I kind of think this is getting a little bit close to the top. So I think maybe the best bet is probably just do the full bleed if you use this, and just have that kind of poking out. But I like the fact that this, yeah, I kind of like the clear one here. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I do like right there. I think it looks a little bit more neat and more modern looking. I'm gonna have to fit content. There we go. Hide all my lines so you can see it. There we go. I like it, but I went with the solid. Okay, yeah. So it's up to you on the you know, the image is definitely going to be the factor too. Kind of maybe work with both of them, see what you like. If you can't read it really well over the copy that you, or the picture that you have it on, that might be the issue too. So kind of be mindful of that. All right, the next thing that I want to do, or maybe that you can do, is you know, obviously the headline of the feature story is what you want to focus on. So I'm going to go and draw a guideline from my vertical rulers over here to maybe where this M starts, and drop it right there. And that's kind of where I'm going to put my copy box from this margin to my right margin. And you don't necessarily have to do it this way. This is just what I'm decided to do. The only thing I would say is if you're going to put copy somewhere up here, at least have an inch of space in between the masthead so that you're not getting it all, it's not all running together. It's nice to have that visual pause in between everything. So I'm drawing out a type box, and then I'm going to put the headlines. Now you can go ahead and copy those headlines. Like I would go in here and just copy that. And that's nice because you already have the style. What you might have to do is just kind of adjust the size depending on how you're putting it in there. But maybe not, just kind of see what works. The next one is the life for this particular magazine. Would be this headline. So I'm just going to copy and paste. They all have their own little way, style, I should say. Know it's an inch. So an easy way to know it's an inch is if you take your axis here and pull it down. Yep. And then drop it right at the bottom of that little bar. It's about an inch. It's almost an inch. That's about an inch right there. But just have enough visual pause in between these two. It doesn't have to be exactly an inch, but yeah, it's okay. We have those moments. So I think what did it say on the instructions here? The cover, you have to have a minimum of Oh, you know what? I'm not looking at the right project here. That's why I'm like, where is this say? Go back to week 4 here. Sorry, guys. You definitely have to have the feature story. Yep. Yeah, exactly. All right. So you have to have at least a minimum of 2 additional articles must appear on the cover. So not just with the feature, but minimum of 2 articles. Now the next article I'm going to use is, and I don't think this is in here, so I'm just going to make it up. You're going to make up the next article. I'm going to make this a little smaller here. So I have some room. Same with this, make it a little smaller. We have to do this one after another here. You can just do the 2 we did through the right. It wouldn't make sense to do more. Oh, this, you know what? This is where I got it from. Sorry, guys. Yeah, you have to do the feature story and 2 other sections, okay? The other section you didn't design. So what you're going to do is go to your table of contents. This is the Word file for that. And obviously do a spell check because I see some spelling errors. Here are these are all of the articles that would be in your issue, but not necessarily what you designed, okay? So this is what you'll be using in the table of contents for your body copy, but maybe not necessarily what you designed. So where I took the next line from was, are you a beach body? I could have done this too as my second option, or I could have done this one. So this is where I kind of got this from, which I was just going to show you. As far as the next article. So you have to have a feature article and at least 2 minimum separate articles. Does that make sense? So I'm going to do, are you a beach body? And then this one can be really small or smaller. Yes, letter from the editor, and then 2 articles. One. Yes. Yep. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what you were saying. Okay. Okay. So funny. All right. So yeah, so I just put in this beach body one, and then of course, you know, you're going to give it its own style based on what you see here. So I'm going to do, are you a beach body? I'm going to make this again 65. Condensed oblique. So 57, not 65. Do I have a 65? Let me see here. 67 is what I'm looking for. Yeah, medium condensed oblique. And then I'm going to make this 36 point size by 48 leading. And then this one, we're going to do 77 bold oblique. And we're going to make this 48 by 48. A little bit bigger. I can adjust this as I go forward. But, and then you can, you know, obviously give it different colors. I would say don't worry necessarily about making style sheets for this one. If you're using, you know, obviously the other 2, you're using the style sheets that have already been created, unless you're just typing it out in general, a list, you know, instead of an actual style, like under a bullet point is what I'm talking about. So I wouldn't really make another. You can, but you're only using it once because you're not really doing this article anyway. if you understand what I'm talking about. It's just, let me see here. And this one, just have to make sure that this looks good in terms of Life Kids, 18 by 24. 24 by 24. I'm just trying to get, yes, so this would be 18 by 24. I don't know why there's a space. There's some weird things going on here. Whoops. And this could be 24 by 24. Just do a shift return. There's some weird thing going on here that I have to figure out. Not sure if I have like a text wrap on here. Do I? No. Aha, this is what's going on. There we go, 18 by 24. Something wasn't right there. Hopefully this will work now. There we go, okay. And then this is 72, sorry guys. I think I had this set at 72 by 73. I'm gonna get all my ratios down here. There we go. All right, that's probably it. And then I have these spaces in between here. I'm just adjusting the point size and the leading. Sorry, I just saw your question there. I'm actually going to bring this up just a little bit. And let me downsize this just a little bit. There we go, 90%. Downsized it proportionally, just using the scale tool. I just wanted to get some margin space down here. It was getting a little too low to the bottom there. So just make sure your body copy is not getting too close to the bottom. You know, this is kind of a nice fit here. Okay, so now as you can see, some of this is hard to read, especially this part, Life Kids. You know, you might want to put a drop shadow in some of this stuff. Maybe the beach body needs a drop shadow, so I'm going to select that. Oops. That obviously will need to have a paragraph style for that, or a character style. So let me bring that up. Character style. Do new character style. Let me see here real quick. I'm going to do a paragraph style. Character style, I don't think you have the option to do because it's just a one character. We'll do a paragraph style. My apologies. All right, so go to paragraph style. We're going to do a new paragraph style. And I'm just going to name this table of, I'm not going to name it table of contents. I'm going to name this beach body. And then where is it? Character color, we have the yellow and shading. I thought there was a drop shadow option in here. I might be wrong. Interesting. Maybe there isn't. Let me see if I can set this. And I don't think I can here, so this might be something where you might need to do this separately. I thought I could, oh, no, I can't do the drop shadow. Okay, So in this case, if I needed a drop shadow on this, I'm probably going to have to put this in and not even do a, I thought I could do a style sheet with that. I'm going to do it in a different box, unfortunately, just so that I can put that drop shadow on there. Sometimes you just have to do it in that regard so that you're creating the same effect, but able to in this regard. So I'm just going to go up to effects, drop shadow, and then here you go. So it's almost like you're creating a separate, you are creating a separate text box. I thought you could do a style sheet. For some reason, I thought you could have done that with the drop shadow, but you can't. There we go. So that kind of gives it a little bit more of a easier read there. Yep, and you can do that too, and that's exactly what I was just going to get to right now. So for instance, this part here, you could do like a little transparent box behind the whole thing. Like I could do this whole section. Excuse me. And it's like killing me. So I just drew a rectangle and filled it with white. And then going up to your transparency up here, I would do it real light. And then just bring object, object arrange, bring to front so that your type's in front of your box. You don't want it to be behind it because then obviously it'll be affected by that. And then same thing here, because that second box that I did needs to be in front too. You could do something like that. Okay, I know, that's what everybody's telling me. Or, so you could do it like this. Let me show you how that looks. Sorry about coughing. You could do it like that. Or if you think it looks okay on the other ones and you just want to do it maybe for the middle one, you could do something like this and then make the opacity a little bit brighter. There we go. So it kind of pops a little bit more here. So I don't know. I kind of liked it. This is kind of a cool way to do it. Maybe just do a little lighter here. I could always go into Photoshop and kind of make this lighter too in the background. Yep, exactly. I could always shift this down too, just to kind of get that out of there. But you're always going to have something bumping into there as well. Just make sure you have equal spacing in between. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, Lisa was just reminding us, W is the shortcut key to preview. So if we hit W, that's okay. So that's a good start. You know, get it so that your feature story is the largest, you know, more prominent type on there. It's bigger. You see it first with the feature image, and then secondary are your other two articles. And then the next thing is the date, so the month and the year, and the UPC, and the price. And those are all, you know, secondary as well. I don't think they give, they don't give you the UPC code, do they? I didn't see that in there. Let me see if I can, in the actual folder itself. I don't think they do, but let me see if I actually save this. Images, feature. Yeah, they don't give you the actual, nope. So what I would say is just do a Google search for that. And I'll show you here.
They do give you the barcode.
They do?
It's in the main folder. It's not under images.
It's under what?
It's like in the main folder. It's not under images. Like you have articles and let's see, articles, fit me flag, images, barcode should be right underneath articles.
Okay, I'm going to look for that right now. I don't know why I missed that here. Hold on one second. Let's see here. I think because the last time I taught this class, they didn't have it available, so we were just placing in that. Let me share my desktop here. Okay, so you're saying that was in week 1 folder?
Yeah, I'm actually going to send a screenshot link in the chat to show you at least what mine looks like.
Okay. Let's see what they got going on here. Fit Me Magazine barcode. Oh, okay, so it's a GIF. All right, let me open this up. Maybe I thought I saved this folder to my desktop, but let's see what's in here. Oh yeah, it is in there. Maybe I was looking at the older one right here, barcode. There you go. All right, so like I said, I pulled this over to my desktop. I'm gonna replace it. It's not in there in that folder that I originally threw over there, so that's why I was confused. Thank you. Okay. Wonder what happened. That was really weird. Unless I was looking at an old folder. That might have been because I have other folders on my desktop. I was probably taking a gander in by accident. Okay, so take your rectangle frame tool. It's going to be small. I would say probably no more than 1.5 inch wide. And you can kind of see as you're pulling your box out at the very top, and you can't see it. Let me share my desktop. Kind of look up here where the X and Y coordinates are. When I pull that box out, oops, you can see that the X and Y coordinates are what kind of tells you what the size is. So I would say around this size probably is good. Sorry guys, I don't know how, hold on one second. And my sister's checking in on me here. Gotta love it, right? Okay, so do a Command D. And then we're going to go to desktop. I'm going to see if I'm in the right folder here. Yep, I got the right folder. File, place, object, fit, fill frame proportionately. And it looks like it's just a little small of a box. So we'll kind of pull this out. You don't want it to be too big. You know, obviously I've seen students where they actually have it really large up there on the page. So there we go. As far as the position, you know, I would probably position it, and I've seen them where they actually bleed off, but I would probably use your margins and just kind of place it in the corner. And it doesn't have to be in the lower left, it can be in the lower right. Sometimes people use it vertically, like, you know, rotated on the side. So there's other examples that you can definitely take a look at. Suggestions, you don't have to do this either, but I'm going to keep it all together. I'm going to take my rectangle tool and just draw another box on top that's the same width. And then this is where I'm going to put the date. So I kind of keep it small. And again, you don't have to do it in this way, but kind of what I just decided to do here. But definitely keep it very small. It doesn't have to be big. And just reverse it out. I'm going to do a center alignment. And I'm just going to throw it right in there. Sometimes people have this closer to the masthead. You know, look at other examples of magazines that you see. Yep. You can have it by the logo. You can have it up here. Sometimes up here in the corner. So up here maybe. I can't see it because it's black or white, but yeah, sometimes people put it up here, just align it. If you do, let me pull it down just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, sometimes with that, people look at that first too. So that, yeah, so it's completely up to you. You can even have it in you know, this black section and just have it reversed out. The bar. Important to know kind of the issue that you're looking at. You know, you don't want to be looking at a really outdated issue, or maybe you're looking for a specific issue. So you're, you know, that would be of importance to see, but it doesn't have to be really big. It's kind of where what I'm getting to. So kind of play around with that and see what you come up with. All right. I think that, do we have everything? Let me see here. We have everything. Oh, the price. And the price actually can go right where we had the date before, right? Oops. So let's bring that box back. It was $4.99. You know, and some of these have like the conversion prices from like United States versus Canada, but don't have to do that. You could just keep it simple and just have the price just placed in here. That actually might make more sense position-wise versus the date being in there. Sometimes these are placed in after you design the magazine, so you just have to make sure that there's a spot for it. Any questions about that? Yeah, I actually, oh, I just saved the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm clicking on buttons here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we'll take a break here and we'll go on to your table of contents, and we'll see if you guys have any questions. Sound good? So we'll take a 5-minute break. Okay. I know, I just saw that. That's okay. No problem. Awesome. There you go. All right, 5 minutes. I'll be right back and we'll go forward from there. All right, can you guys hear me? Let's see if we can get the table of contents back up here. All right, that was fast, wasn't it? Why am I not able to share this? Hold on 1 second, guys. We have my Word file up, and I'm trying to share this with you guys. Really weird. Okay, I'm just going to share my whole screen. Okay, so let me delete the stuff on page 1 and 8. Okay, yeah, I can share that. Before I do that, go to your table of contents, TOC document that's provided in your folder. Yeah, I'll show you that in a second here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It looks like connection is unstable. You're going to just copy, not the inside this issue. You can use that word, the words there too, but I'm gonna kind of not, because I'm gonna make it separate looking enough so everybody knows that it looks, you know, it's obviously the table of contents. Before I do that, I'm gonna do a spell check. So let's see here, tools, spelling and grammar. And then I can go through this first, change anything that needs to be changed. Okay. I'm just gonna ignore that. There we go. Now I'm gonna do a copy. Command C, go back to my document here. And I'm going to go to page 2, and I have my space here. So hopefully you guys have a space to put your table of contents. I drew out some lines where I would go from the margin to this vertical line here to follow where my text box will be. So I just kind of drew out a little type box, and I'm going to do a Command V to paste, and it's probably not going to be showing all of the text in here, so I'm going to have to adjust it. Yeah, we don't do the folio on page 8 because it's a full page ad. So how you adjust that is, see how this in your pages, so bring up your pages, page panel, and see where it says none on top of your master page. That's okay. It's all part of the learning experience, right? You're going to drag that right over top of the page 1 and drag it right over top of page 8. And that will eliminate the folios because it won't be a master page anymore. Simple enough, right? It's okay. Hey, that's how we learn, right? All right. Now, I would suggest putting in page numbers. You're not given page numbers, but I think that's kind of, I don't know. Some people like to put page numbers in there. Yeah, well, you can, you know, definitely if you want to, if need be, fix that and then resubmit it for a grade change. Let's go up to styles, paragraph styles, and we're going to name this, we're going to do a new paragraph style, and we're going to do a table of contents. You can do this, you know, I'm going to pick the same characters that you can actually use the body copy that you've been using for your type, but maybe just change the subheads. So maybe in this case, I'll just put subheads and change this so that it's Helvetica, because that's what I've been using, Helvetica New. We'll do like a condensed. And I'm going to do it smaller. The point size can be smaller too. We'll do like a 9 tracking. Let's do 0. And color, I'm going to do this teal color. And maybe we're going to do all capital letters, or yeah, all caps right here. So go to basic character formats, case all caps, see how that looks. I can always change it. All right, then I just select the subheads and then I choose table of contents subheads. And if I need to change it, I can go back and change the actual style sheet. I can even change this so it's not just the body copy. I can do new paragraph style. And let's just put table of contents body copy. And let's say if I want to really stick to the Helvetica new across the whole, and you don't have to, you could do a sans serif, it's fine, but make it much smaller. So let's do like 8 by 12. Anything else looks good, regular. Maybe I'll do a bold condensed. We'll see what that looks like. Click OK. There we go. And then of course you want to do a byline as well. The byline, you know, definitely can be, let's do table of contents byline. Maybe this one's Helvetica. And that's what's nice about the new family is you have so many different options here in the family. Let's do a bold condensed oblique. 9 by 12. Click OK. Table of contents byline. There we go. I'm going to delete some spacing out here. Shift return. You might have to do that too and do a shift return after all of these. I'm deleting that space after the subhead so I don't have that weird space before and after here. Whoops. I might want to give it a little bit more space in between here, and I can always adjust that. But I kind of like it how it all reads together there. And then plus I have more room. Oh, I gotta change this. It's just a little tricky because this is going to change this. So what you want to do is you want to do a hard return first, and then body copy, and then do the shift return. If you don't, you know, that's going to mess you up. It messed it up because of the space went from a soft return to a hard return. So I'll show you how to do that again. Okay, so I'm selecting just the body copy. I'm going to change it to body copy and see how it just changed my subhead. It didn't even change. Oops, I chose, yeah. That's because right before the T here, I put a soft return in there. So if I put a hard return, which is just a return, and try it again, watch what happens. Okay, so I clicked on it. Now, see how it like doesn't affect that? And now I'm going to do the subhead. You just need to get that initial, soft return out of there. So maybe waiting until you set your style sheets in there before you delete the space is probably the best way to do it. So for instance, see how this space isn't deleted yet? Because it was pushed down. Maybe in this instance, if you just applied the, see how it didn't affect it. So now I can hit delete and then return, shift return. Yep, so that's the better way to go. I kind of showed you the wrong way, so then it kind of gets you in trouble, but at least you kind of know how to, whoops, wrong byline, how to fix it. So just a little delete and then a shift return and get you that back to where it needs to be. This needs to be changed again. That space is the issue there. I copy byline. And the space is being the issue here. So yeah, I'm getting myself all kinds of trouble by doing that. So it's just all that spacing that when you do a soft return, it affects the whole paragraph. rather than a hard return, you can do two separate styles without it affecting each other, if that makes sense. It's just the way, yeah. What does the O mean? By the text. Oh, that just means open type. That's the type of typeface that it is. So it's the type of font style, yeah. Good question. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a shift, delete, shift return. I can delete the extra space in between here. This looks good. Oh, I have the same spacing issue here that I need to fix. And it looks like it's not gonna give me a way out of here. Figure this out here. Really? This is interesting. Oh, okay. You know what? I was using the wrong byline here. Okay. I'm screwing this all up here. Sorry, guys. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. I was doing the wrong style sheet for the byline. That's why it looked different. This one's not changing. That's being difficult. Okay, so let's change this one. You guys are funny. Let's see in your chat here. Body copy. Just look for widows in there too. Like, you know, we were talking about before. Same applies here. Like right here, the lunch, that's a widow there. Do I have any more copy down here? Just, nope, I'm good. Okay, so now I just have to figure out what is going on here with my type. Let me delete this out and do a hard return, hard return, hard return, byline. It is not switching to it. And it's giving me this little override here. So, subheads. Yeah, there's something weird going on there. Let me copy this return here. Maybe that's all I need to do. Nope. From the editor. All right, I just kind of copied and pasted that in their editor. There we go. Something weird is going in there with that space being that issue, and same thing up here. There we go. Got it. All right. It's all about the spacing. What I would do is probably set your, like I said, your style sheets first, and then mess around with the spacing in between, just because you can get into what I just got into, the battle. And then you can space it out appropriately. Like I'm going to add another shift return in between these because I have the room, but just make sure they're all consistent. Look at your rag, kind of fix things if they need to be fixed. Pull this down. I'm doing a shift return. I'm going to do a shift return here so I can take care of this widow. There we go. Okay. So there it is. Table of contents. It should look different than your other copy. And what I would suggest, obviously you want to align it appropriately too, is maybe try even a block of color. You can either have it bleeding off the side, and maybe this block of color, you know, obviously should correspond with your theme on this page. You can use it like a screen of that color, so it doesn't have to be full percentage. Okay, it's in the back, so I'm going to bleed this off. Or you can reverse out the copy in white for it to be readable. But either way, if you do that, I had a little divider there. I don't really need that now that I have this. I'm going to take off the stroke here too. The stroke is not needed. Make it nice and clean looking. But if you have like a little divider like I had here, a vertical one, whoops, take that out. Not really needed because you have that color block anyway. Let me pull this in real quick and just get rid of it. There we go. And then maybe pull this up so that, you know, you equal the space from the top to the bottom of where it starts up here to the bottom here. This can bleed off, or you can pull it in. Completely up to you on how you want to do that. If you do that, I probably would center this, you know, so a couple things to think about. I kind of liked it bleeding off, but that's just me. But you know, and you can have a little table of contents or what's in this issue above here, lead in, that's fine too. I just don't have a lot of space for that. So I'm kind of trying to make it fit in there. Okay, the other thing I want to be sure of is that everything's kind of aligning baseline wise. So see at the very bottom of the first column of my text box on the right here ends on this very last line. I kind of want that to happen over here if I can. So maybe, and I need to kind of maybe try to get some of my lines to bump up. This one in particular can. If I change the tracking, you might not have the, let's see, this is going to be really tight though. You never really want to go beyond -5 there. So let me see if I pull this out just slightly. There we go, just bumped it up a little bit without it being too close to the edge there. And now I can align the end byline with that baseline. Getting a little close to this edge, but not too bad. You don't have to do it the same color if you really want it to pop as its own section. Maybe you can treat it completely differently. You know, maybe even going solid black might be the answer for that. And then reversing it out in white. So think about those things, you know, how you want that to pop out, because, you know, it is separate from the letter from the editor. Now, of course, I would have to change this in my style sheets. Oops. But it's very easy. Once you do that, you just go in here and change those to what you need. Everything else changed to body copy. I probably would keep one of them white and one of them green, maybe the headline green. Yeah, maybe this is green. Oh, see, I'm having that issue of it connecting with that too. So now I can really tell what is not being changed correctly here. This is going to change my headlines. Yep, I don't want that. Oops, let me cancel that. I just did that wrong. I don't want to set my cursor in there and try to change it. Okay. Yeah, all my, this is not set right. This is why it's not changing color. So still have issues here. There we go. Now it's setting right. That's one way you can notice if it's set right or not. Oops. And then this should be subhead. Oops. Yeah. Well, it's a good way to find your mistakes because I have the spaces that are the issue here. So now I can tell that, okay, this is not set right. My style sheet needs to be fixed here. And it's all about the spacing. And I accidentally did it the wrong way when I showed you guys, so I apologize. Now I'm fixing it. There we go. All right, some things bumped down here. Oh, no, I think it looks good. I mean, that's pretty heavy and dark, but I just wanted to show you, like, if you wanted to go that extreme, you can, you know, if you think it works for it. You could even just go with, you know, that and maybe have these set in white, or even, I probably would just set them in white if that were the case. All the same. And we also use pink, but I think that would look weird behind there. But in any case, you do, pink might be a little bit too much there. Do like a gray. Yeah, I just hurt everybody's eyeballs. I don't even know if I like that color either. But, you know, just kind of play around with it. See what works. I think the other colors work best with the transparent background there. What do we have? The character color set in black. Subheads. Yep. There we go again. My spacing issues. But, you know, just kind of make sure you're not doing what I'm doing. Setting all this right here. I just have these spacing issues. But there's different ways that you could do this. Take a look at other like table of contents. You might get inspiration from that. I'm gonna go back to where we were. So, you know, you might want to kind of look at how other people do it and be inspired by that. But also keep in mind your own style of your magazine so that you're keeping it consistent with the theme of your magazine as far as the elements go. You might even want to do, instead of doing like a square, you might want to do a rounded rectangle. Oops. Because, you know, you did the rounded rectangle there, so you might want to do that. Okay, so you can do that to keep it consistent. Oops. Yeah, you can set the corners here. I'm trying to think of how to do that. I thought there was an option to do that. Let's see here real quick. I thought there was an easy way to do the corners here. Let me see. Is that a preference? I guess I'm thinking Illustrator. There should be a way that you can give this like a rounded corner. Give me 1 second here. Why am I not seeing that option in here? All right, let's see. Tools. Corner options. There we go. All right. So that would be under, you know, it's like crazy when you go from one, they're so the same as far as like Illustrator and InDesign, Photoshop, but some of their features are a little different. For some reason, I didn't think it was going to be like this. So some things even change. So anyway, corner options is under there. You got it. Yeah. Okay, so you can change your corners. You know, you could do different corners. I'm going to choose rounded for mine. Hit preview. It just took me a little while to figure that out. And then you can kind of fill it, kind of like how you did. And if you don't want the corner to show, you can just bleed it off as far as on the left side there. Kind of gives it a nice look. But you have that round as you do on, as I do on the signifiers right there, that roundness. So it kind of connects it with all your other elements, you know, in a subtle way. One way to do it. I probably will pull this copy box in, but that's going to change some of my things. Yep, it's going to drop it down. If you need to, you might even need to bring this up a little bit. I mean, you're going to really be careful of that too, because everything else shifts as you're doing that. So, you know, you just have to be mindful of how you're adjusting everything. And that would be on this line, but see how this isn't aligning up here. And that's okay. It doesn't necessarily have to align at the very top here. I'm just kind of trying to make it work. You know, you could even align the bottom of this box to the alignment of the text and then bring everything up. That's fine too. I would have to just go in here and adjust maybe the spacing in between here where it's not as big. Oops. Or even just the type. Here's that little widow I see in here. It's a lot of just adjusting. If this were the case, I probably would just center this in my square that I have here. So I have the square aligned to the bottom of that baseline, and then what I would do is maybe just try to align this to a baseline, like right there. And then just equal out the top square space up here as to the bottom. That way you're kind of aligning to some type of a grid. You know, that might look a little different. It might not be something that, you know, looks a little off. You kind of have to play around with it and see. It's all about the spacing. I probably would go back to where I was before because I liked how that aligned with the baseline of the copy instead. So, you know, just shifting everything down might be the way to go. I kind of like that before. Let me put my W here so I can see my baseline. And then maybe because I have so much room up here, now I can probably add maybe table contents. And then I'll just make a new paragraph style and name this table of contents headline, and then just make this a little bigger. I'm going to put in a different type box here. You don't have to put in a different type box, but just spacing issues. I'll just use that for instance. All right. I'll just equal out the top and the bottom. That looks pretty good. Any questions about that? So basically, we went through both of those sections. Okay. Tomorrow when we meet up, I'm going to go over how to save this out. Kind of like the second part to this when you save it out and then apply it to your Behance site. So let me show you here real quick. So the second part to this is just saving it out, single PDF, zip folder. So we'll go over this tomorrow. And then we'll also go over your, hold on, I know somebody's typing here. Hold on one second. Assessment 4, which is creating your digital publication, so converting it from print to digital. We'll go over that tomorrow as well. But because I went over a lot of information tonight and we're kind of running out of time, I'm going to wrap it up. Yep. So we'll just end it here and I'll go over the rest tomorrow evening. Does anybody have any questions? Nope, just want to get it done. Okay. No questions though, other than Lisa, she wants to talk to me after class. All right, guys. Well, I'll be, yeah, good luck with that. We'll be meeting tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, and we'll go over the rest, like I said, of your assignment 4, and then get into your assessment 4 information. And hopefully I'll see you in lecture. If not, I'll be seeing you on the discussion boards, and also I'll be grading late work pretty soon, hopefully in the next day or probably, I want to do it by tomorrow, hopefully. So we'll see what the schedule looks like so you guys can get that feedback. Lisa, I need to look at your assignment 2 as well. I think I put a note down here, assignment 2. See if I got the right PDF to you here. Check that. All right, other than that, we'll just wrap it up and call it a night here, guys. Sound good? So Lisa, you stick in here. I'll wrap this up and then we'll just keep talking. All right, you guys have a great night, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. All right, I'm going to, let's see here. I don't want to stop recording because I won't be able to talk to you, Lisa. So do you want to just type or do you want to talk? Okay. This is still being recorded, just to let you know, Lisa. Okay. Let me unmute you. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so I know you said, obviously you haven't graded it yet. I mean, I just turned it in today. It takes me so long to do my stuff.
Okay.
Normal? Like, it's ridiculous. It takes me hours.
Yeah.
But
well, this is a big project, so don't feel like that's abnormal, because it is a lot of work.
Okay. I know you, like I said, you haven't graded it yet, but I was wondering if you could possibly, I don't know if you do this, but look at it right now and see if what you think, maybe, or should I just wait till you grade it?
Oh, wait a second here. I'm looking at your assignment. That's really weird. Okay.
What's
I'm looking at your assignment 2 just to see what I did there.
Yeah, you see, I got a 120 out of 120, but
yeah, for some reason.
And I was like, I need feedback. Was it good? Was it bad?
Let me see what happened there. Let me open up your file. Okay. And let's see. Just give me 1 second, because I have saved files here. Maybe I saved yours. And I didn't attach it for some reason. Hi.
Sorry, I'm serving dinner also at the same time.
No problem. Just do your thing, and I'll get to you in a second. I'm just reviewing all the ones that I do have in my folder here still, because I keep them.
I gotta go outside. Here, baby. I'm gonna go outside. It's too loud here. They're fed. I'm good. I'm walking outside.
Talking crap.
Well, no, baby.
You got a lot of meat.
Okay.
Okay, I did find yours actually.
Okay.
Yeah, do I have? Yes, I do have comments. Okay, so I did save it. I must have not attached it. So let me go ahead and I will post that now.
I was gonna say, I don't care if you share it. I'm sure people that are watching the recording will have probably stopped watching by this time. So if not, I really don't care.
Okay, so here is the PDF that was from your file. Okay, so what I didn't mention on here was, yeah, just take that folio off of the first cover.
Right. Yes. See, I was able to take the green off, but I think I put the green line. I think I put that on,
Okay.
on my master pages.
So
Yeah, but now I know how to do it.
Okay, just and I just noticed this now. There's a space happening here, a little gap.
Yes. So in our discussion post, even though mine was super late, but I think I got it in by Saturday. Caitlin, I believe, she pointed out a bunch of stuff for the critiques. I mean, not a bunch, but it was great. So I did go in and change that. Yeah, I fixed a lot of that stuff. Okay, so look, do you see how on the page 2, I have the green line? Should I not do the green? Because it's, I don't know.
I like the green line. I think you could probably make it a little thinner if that's bothering you as far as the weight goes.
Well, I mean, just that it's on page 2, because page 2 I went with blue. You see what I mean?
No, I think that's okay, because what you're doing, the folio should just be unified. What you're putting in the folio should be unified throughout the whole magazine.
Perfect.
So it doesn't have to change per article as far as the color is concerned, yeah.
Okay, another thing she told me that I changed on letters to the editor, or from editor, whatever, was because I did like you had done, and I changed the blue. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I changed those all to blue, like I had it in my article. See how those are green?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I also changed on 2 and on the letters from editor, I changed that tab up top to match the blue, not black.
Okay, yes, that. There's a space up here.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that is one thing. Oh, okay, and see, I thought I resubmitted this because I sent you, at the first time I submitted it, I sent it like this. But then you had said something at one point, I don't remember when, to do it spreadsheets or spread, in the PDF to do it.
Oh, okay.
So I did that. I changed that.
Okay.
So that's submitted somewhere.
Okay. You might have
that,
submitted on week 3 somewhere, because I only see one upload for your assignment 2. So maybe you submitted it for one of your, like, assignment 3?
Or maybe I fixed, oh, heck, I don't know.
Which is probably what you did.
Okay.
So I will take a look at your assignment 3, and you probably have the changes made in there, because assignment 3 was basically putting in your full page ad.
Okay, so what I sent you for my full page, or for that, was just that full page ad. Was I supposed to send you my whole page?
No, you could just put the full page ad. That's fine. I just thought maybe that's another
Oh, okay.
thought that you
Is
submitted
that
it.
why?
I only see one submission for assignment 2.
Okay. Okay. I guess I'll have to look. Maybe I didn't submit it. Maybe I just fixed it. And then, I don't know. Because I know I have assignment 2A or 2B, something like that.
Yeah, I'd only see one that was in there. Usually if you do submit more than one, it'll have a little tab and say second submission, and it'll show both files.
Okay.
I only see one file for assignment 2.
Okay. Maybe I did what Caitlin suggested. I saved that and I was waiting on your,
Oh, okay.
maybe that's what happened.
Okay.
You know what? That is what happened because you replied to someone. That's what it was. You replied to someone on the discussion post,
Okay.
said, send it to me in the spreads. So that's what I did. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I think you're pretty good. There's a couple things like your widows. There's a space after this one, TLC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This was really good. So everything was really good on these pages. All was good on this. There's a space up here that could be an extra space there that I saw, but that could have shifted too.
Well, that one right there, because I looked at that for a very long, I'm telling you, like, okay, so last week's, this is just for an example, the week 3 assignment when we had to do the ad,
Mm-hmm.
it took me 8 hours to do. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like you're getting used to it, and it's a lot of information that you're placing in there. And
like my friend Carla, she's in Craig's class. We were on the phone last night from like 10:30 to about probably 11 to 1:30. She was trying, she was helping me, and she was like, Lisa Marie, you are making this so much harder on yourself. And I was like, why am I doing it? And I do it every time. But anyways, yeah, so that one that you said, the spacing,
mm-hmm.
the reason I left it like that is because it matched up with tools are important.
Tools are important. Oh, I don't. You mean the baselines match up?
Like,
What I'm saying is there was an extra space that looks like it's in front of the eye.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. I see it. Mm-hmm.
And
Sorry.
then I just noticed too, under here it says 4E and then easy. Make sure that that's all together because there's not even a hyphen there.
Yep.
So just kind of, but small changes just to kind of pay attention to the type there.
Would you take the 4 and do a return there, not just at the E, to make that line up a little better?
I would just do a shift return at this point if it still looks like where it's at. Just shift return that E back down to where it will connect with the rest of the word.
Okay, but you see how okay. But you see how the 4, like, the F starts like at the end of the U, 2 spaces up?
F starts with the U. What are we talking about here? Let me zoom in.
See, this is what I do to myself. Okay, so 4, the word 4 before the E.
I don't think I'm looking at the same thing you're looking at. Are you looking here?
Yes. So
4. Okay, yes.
Should I take 4 and then E and make that the next line?
Yeah, you can bump that down too. That's that's fine. Just make sure the E is going with the word easy.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. See, I make so much stuff. Like,
Yeah, that's good to look at. I mean, because, obviously there are, you do have to bump some stuff down, look at your rags, everything looks good. So yeah, you're paying attention to the details.
Okay.
So that's good.
Okay, awesome.
Yep, looks good. So I will, I'll post this to your assignment so you have it.
Okay, perfect.
And I know that you did those changes, and I'll kind of see those changes in the discussion. But you did a great job. It's just a couple things. And I think the grade book, Lisa, you just missed points for
Nothing.
craftsmanship. So just the paying close attention to the details, tools required for the assignment. Drop caps, subheads, 2 quotes. Yeah. So I guess the points were taken just for a lot of the little specific issues going on here. Let me, because you made those adjustments, I will reevaluate that grade for you.
Okay. Is that's for week 2? No,
Yeah.
week.
So that is I'm talking about week 2, assignment 2, that you said I didn't receive feedback, and you're correct. I did not attach that for some reason. So I'll go ahead and give you the feedback, attach your assignment, and revise your grade.
Okay, because I thought my grade on that one was a 120 out of 120, which is why I was shocked.
I am seeing something. Let's see here. Assignment 2, I'm seeing 118 and a half.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So then was it, oh my God, I'm so confused because I remember getting the 118.5 and I was completely cool with that. And I think I told you that.
Mm-hmm.
So it must have been the week. This doesn't make sense because there was one. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just confused with my two. Girl, I don't know. Oh, I really appreciate you.
Let me go take a look at what you have submitted, and I think maybe I can clarify some things for you.
Okay, perfect.
And we'll just go from there. Is that good?
Yeah, no, I'm yes, ma'am.
But I think what you're doing is good. And like I said, I'll go back, post that feedback, give you a revised grade, and then I'll just see kind of what you submitted through that grade period through week 3, and then
week 3 was real late because, like I said earlier, oh my God, I didn't get out of the bed for 2.5 days. It was ridiculous, and I didn't tell you because I didn't get out of bed.
Yeah,
I should have used so I mean, if you have to take late points, I completely understand because I didn't talk with you about it, but woof, like, thank God I feel better.
Oh, well, I'm glad you do feel better. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that into consideration, and like I said, I'll try to get to that as soon as possible so you
Awesome.
can move on with your stuff.
Thank you so very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, no problem.
Have a wonderful night, and I hope you feel better as well.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for all your hard work, too.
Oh, I'm trying. All right.
Enjoy the rest of your night, Lisa, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Bye-bye.